one, and the color name is Fairy Princess. It's got pink, white, and purple in it. It's very pretty. It's 100% acrylic also. They recommend I9 hook. It's machine wash and dry, made in China. It's a 4 medium yarn. I'm going to be using a size 5 hook. I like these hooks because they are nice and cushiony, and I can crochet longer periods of time. There it is, H5. I'm going to need some yarn and scissors, a yarn needle, and depending on the placement of your buttons, you will need 4 or 5 buttons. When I crocheted the last cardigan for size 6, it required 5 buttons. I'm going to be making it in a size 2T, so we may just need 4 buttons, but I pulled out 5 just in case. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to be doing is the band for the back. We're going to do this single crochet in a vertical. I use the chainless single crochet foundation chain stitch because when I crochet, I either start out tight and get loose, or just the opposite. I start out loose and get tight, which causes my projects to bow one way or another. What I like about the single crochet chainless foundation stitch is that it's flexible. So let me find the end of my yarn here, and we'll start. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot. I wrap my yarn around my 2 fingers, and I bring it straight down into the back of that circle, and then I just pull it shut. And then I stick my needle in there. Now, if you don't know how to do this stitch, I'm not a very good tutorial type person. I'm just going to show you how I do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. So, and you have to do this stitch very loose. 1 and 2. Okay. And then we're going to go into this first chain here. And we're going to we want to get underneath that bottom part of the yarn, that part of the stitch. And I have hand trimmers, so I shake and it makes it harder. There we go. And pull through, and we drop 1 loop, wrap around, and then pull through those 2 loops. And this is, you have to do this stitch very loose because you're going to get underneath. I don't know if you can see it. You only need to get under this and this piece of yarn, those 2 strings. Just like that. You pull through, and then you drop that, and then pull through these 2. And I just remember this by counting to 3. So I get under those 2 pieces, that part of the stitch right there. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do it again. Pull through, wrap around, and pull through. Now the back band only needs to be 1.5 inches high. So it's only going to take a few of these to do it. What I like about this mat is it's already measured. So there's an inch right there between the 9 and the 10. It doesn't take very many of these stitches to get to an 1.5 inches. So get underneath there. If you get too many, you're going to notice a big square. And it won't look like this. There'll be like a big gap. Wrap around, pull through, wrap around, pull through. Okay. And that's 1.5. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to chain 1, go up, not this stitch, but this stitch. We're going to go under those 2 bars. You see the hook there? Pull through. And pull through. And then we're going to just chain across. That was 1. 2. Oops, it's spinning around. 3. Oh, you know what? I did that wrong. Sorry. Did I? Yeah, we wanted to go the other way. Sorry about that. We want to go up here. So that your yarn is in your lower left-hand corner. Apologies. That made 5. Then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to do the single crochet back loop only. So what we're going to do is we did our chain 1, we turned, but to get started off, I usually just lay the material like the yarn like this and go right through that back loop. And then do your single crochet. And then another back loop. Single crochet. Put your hook in that back loop there. And just do your single crochet. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to chain 1. And we're going to do this until it is for me, since I'm making the 2T, I need the band to be 13 inches long. So I'm going to do it until it is 13 inches. And when I get back, I'll let you know how many rows I crocheted. Okay, so here we are at 13 inches. And it was 47 rows. Let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. We have 47 rows. When you end it, you want to make sure that the starting yarn right here is in the lower left hand corner. So this is going to be the front. It's going to be the outside. In order to remember this at a glance, I'm going to take some of my stitch markers, because I found out from the last sweater that they have a tendency to roll. I'm also connecting another stitch marker to it. That way, if this one rolls around to the back, this one is still out front. So there's the front. Now after doing the starting chain, the chainless single crochet foundation stitch, I probably got all those words in the wrong order, but we did that for 5 stitches. Excuse me, allergies. And then we did single crochet back loop only, 5 stitches across for 47 rows. So next thing we're going to do, after the last one I've already chained up, and oh yeah, so what we're going to do, I need to back out a little bit because we are going to change color. We're going to change to the multicolor yarn. So I've got my multicolor yarn here. I'm going to loop it over the hook, just like so. Get that one out of the way. And we're going to pull it through those 2 stitches and then do our single crochet. Now, since I'm going to be changing colors off and on through the back, I'm just going to run the purple up the side. Something's wrong here. Guess that yarn had gotten caught up in my hook. So let's try this again. And pull through. We're going to chain 1. And we're going to carry that on up. So the next stitch that we're going to do is the half double crochet stitch. And we are going to do it here's my cat Jackson. He's come to keep me company for a little while. It's 1 of 4. Okay, Jackson, will you hand me the pattern, please? There we go. So here, we just got done doing this band. Now we're going to do the back. The back from the band to the armpit for size 2T is to be 5.5 inches. So we're going to half double crochet all the way across and up to the armpit. So I'm going to crochet here. Oops, got to loop over. Loop. There we go. And I pull straight up when I do this. I like those stitches to be nice and tall. And then we're going to insert it. You can see that hole right there. This hole. I'm going to insert it there. So wrap around, insert, wrap around again, and pull straight up. Okay, so wrap around. Now there's another hole. And we're going to insert, wrap around, pull straight up. Okay, now make sure you get both those loops. Wrap around, insert, wrap around, pull through, wrap around, and pull straight up. And we're going to keep doing this until the very end of the row. And I'll meet you back at the end. Just go ahead and half double crochet all the way to the end. And we'll see how many stitches it is. It should be 47, but there's no way to know until we get to the end and we count. So here we are at the end of the first row of the multicolor, or what we would refer to as the fairy princess. It's 46 stitches across, and I'm going to chain one, and gonna keep doing it until, well, for the multicolor I'm going to do 3 more rows, and then I'm going to change back to the purple color. Which is also called pansies. I love this half double crochet stitch. You can really get a good pattern going. And just go in, out. Just pull them nice and tall. That's how I like them. For me, I like my half double crochet stitches nice and tall. For this yarn to be acrylic, it's not very rough at all. It's not the softest yarn, but it's not itchy and scratchy going across the hand. Let's redo that one. Okay, I'm going to meet you at the end, and we're going to carry the purple up the side and do another row of the fairy princess color. So here we are at the end of this row. There's the color change one. There's the multicolor. Jackson. Sorry about that. I'll pull through. Then I'll come down here. And I should have pulled that through with that color. So this one and this one. There we go. kind of hard to keep track since they're both the same color right at that point. So that's the solid color. I still want to do the multicolor. Chain one, turn, and we're gonna half double crochet again all the way down the row. "46 times. Okay. 4. I chose to do 4 rows of the multicolor and 6 rows of the purple color, so that when I do change the yarn over, I could bring the yarn up the side. I was going to do 5 and 3, but that was going to put the yarn ending on opposite sides, and I'd have to cut and restart, and I just wanted to avoid doing that. So that's how I come to the amount of, we're going to do 6 purple, 4 multi. I think that's going to be a cute little design for a sweater. Okay, I'm about halfway through, so when I get done, I get ready to turn and be back. So here we are at the third end, the end of the third row of the multicolor. Pull through, chain 1, and turn. When we get to this end, this is going to be the end of the 4th row. We're going to bring the purple up, and we're going to change over to purple. So let's get started on the 4th row. Jackson's still here with me. Wherever I am, there he is. Do you have any pets that keep you company when you're crocheting or doing your crafts? Let me know in the comment section. I have 3 other cats. They just haven't made their way here yet, which is really unusual because usually anytime the yarn is out, the cats are trying to chase it. Okay, when I get to the end of this row, I'll get back to you. There. Okay, so here we are at the end. And it's time to change over to the purple color. So I'm going to pull it through. And my cat just walked in front of me, so I have no idea what I really did. Oh, missed a loop. There we go. Not bad. So now we're going to drop the multicolor. And we're going to single chain. This the purple. And that is just the purple, right? Yeah. Okay, so now with the solid purple color, we're going to do 6 rows of purple. And we're going to keep alternating until the back is 5.5 inches from the it's 5.5 inches from the start of the multicolor. I was making sure that was correct. I didn't know if it was going to be from the end of the waistband or from this, but from the multicolor to the armpit, it's got to be 5.5 inches. So, I'll see you back here in a little. So here we are at 5.5 inches. If I go another row, it's going to be too high up. So I'm going to stop right here, and you have to end on the wrong side. And I know I'm on the wrong side because the tail is on the right instead of the left, and my markers are underneath instead of on top. So what we need to do here is we're going to slip stitch in 5 stitches, and that's going to be the armpit over here, and then we'll have to end 5 stitches from this side and slip stitch from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in stitch markers. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put a stitch marker there. Then I'm going to crochet all the way here. I'm going to count back 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a stitch mark there. And I'm going to slip stitch. And the rest of this will be the back. So, just hang in there tight with me and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to count in 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to slip stitch up to there. One, two, three. And not only do we have to slip stitch, okay, so when we get over here, we're going to have to change color yarn. Got a lot going on, but we can do this. Get my yarn here. Ruler out of the way there. Okay. And Jackson is still keeping me company. Hey Jackson, show everybody your cute little face. There you are. I hear somebody else in the background. Who's back there? Max. You ever have a cat that eats plastic? I don't know why he does that. Alright, so slip stitch. 1. Oopsie. Pulled too hard. 2. 3. 4. And since this is the armpit area, the reason we're slip stitching is we don't want to add any height to this area because this is going to go under the arm. From here to here is a space from your waistband, or maybe a little bit lower than the waist, to under the arm. So we don't need any added height right here. Alright, so that's 5 stitches slip stitch. Then we're going to skip over that marker. And we're just going to continue half double crocheting. Sorry that I'm not talking. I cannot concentrate when I'm talking and crocheting at the same time. I'm tried to do that, and I can only do one thing at a time, so pardon the silence. If this is boring to you, you can just always fast forward right through it. But we're almost to the end. If anybody out there knows anything about yarn management or how to manage 2 different colors at one time, just go ahead and put a comment in down there. I know my husband, he does networking, and they have cable management accessories, so I was just wondering if there's any such thing as yarn management, where you can keep your yarn, if you got more than 2 colors, more than 1 color going, if there's any way to kind of tubes you can put your yarn through or something, or maybe, hey, maybe that's $1 million idea right there. Just leave a comment in there how you manage more than 1 color yarn without making it look like a spider's web. Alright, let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from this yellow stitch marker to the end, we're going to slip stitch. I hope I counted right. I did it twice, but that don't mean nothing. I did not count right because I didn't count this stitch over here. That's okay. I don't think anybody ever crochets anything without having to pull some yarn out and correct their little boo-boo. And at least we caught it now, instead of having to take out rows and rows of yarn later on. I'd rather take out a couple of stitches as opposed to a couple of rows. And I'd like this to be made well for my granddaughter. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do a half double crochet here. Let's just pull out of that right there. Do a half double crochet here. See, we were just 1 stitch off. And then we're going to slip stitch here. 2, 3, 4. Oh, here comes the fun part. All this and change color yarn. We can do it though. Okay. I brought it on myself. I could have just went with one color, but I like to make things colorful. There we go. That wasn't so bad. Chain 1. Now we're going to slip stitch back to this yellow marker. Jackson is walking right through me, right by me again. There we go. Kind of like a child. There he goes. Oh, stretch it out, boy. Stretch it out. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Such a good boy. That's my boy there. Alright, so where are we at? Okay. I'm going to turn it. Okay. And we're doing solid purple, so move that color one out of the way. Well, we're going to have to carry that with us, aren't we? Yeah. Glad I thought about that, because I would have to be taking out yarn then. 1. It's carried along the top of the stitches there. That's how I'm going to do it. Seems to work pretty good that way. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Lay on top there. And 5. Okay. Alright, we're going to leave that color yarn there. We're going to pick up the purple. And we're going to half double crochet across. Not all the way across. Only to the stitch marker. Let me move the stitch marker up 1. So I end in the right place. There we go. And now we're going to do half double crochets till we get to this stitch marker. And we're going to keep doing back and forth, still alternating the color of the yarn also until this upper portion is 5.5 inches high. So the total height from the band, the bottom of the band to the top of the back is going to be 12.5 inches high. See, from down here to the top, 12.5 inches. So when I get to the top, I'll be back with you to let you know what we're going to do next. So here's the back panel finished. We are at 13 inches wide and 12.5 inches high. We did the single crochet back loop only vertical here. Then we did 1 row of single crochet. Then we did 4 rows half double crochet in the multicolor yarn. Then we did 6 rows of half double crochet in the purple yarn. Then we did 4 more rows in the multicolor, 6 in the purple, 4 in the multi, 6 in the purple, and then to get to 12.5 we did 2 more rows. Each side is slip stitched in 5 stitches, and each row has Each row has 44 stitches up to the armpit. So from the first row here after the single crochet up to here is 44 stitches. Then because we came in 5 stitches here, 5 stitches here, then we have 34 stitches from across from the armpit up. Now we're gonna cut these strings and tie them off. Next step will be the front panels.